What's up, everybody? It is the Best Spot Kid Smooth, and we're back with another episode of Planet Xbox Podcast, episode 10. We end here. What is up? Please, folks, introduce yourself. Attic, you're there.
What's going on, you guys? Nice to be here.
Jeez, Attic,
yo,
frustrated.
It sounds mad. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Jez77. Glad to be here, man. I'm very happy.
All right, so we're missing a few bodies. Psycho Gamer may be joining us a little bit later. Panda also may be joining us a little bit later. But right now it's just us three for the moment. Got a couple things to talk about, and before I carry on, I just want to make sure that my microphone's okay. I gotta take a look at the chat so far. If anybody can let us know if we're okay or not.
We got
what's so funny?
A wonderful comment. The first comment says Xbox is the trash box.
Oh wow!
Jesus.
Yeah, that tends to happen. That tends to happen, unfortunately. But
you forgot to put first. Oh man, that's funny. Sorry.
No, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. No, but we're good to go. We're good to go.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all feedback is good.
Xbox can't go a day without hate, you know. But there's a couple things I want to talk about today on this episode. Now, before we get to the main topic, we were just talking about something briefly. And Jez brought it up because I think you said the July MPDs may have leaked, and it's not looking too good for the Xbox. What's going on, man?
Yeah, so what I saw over on NeoGAF is that something that they will leak, a screenshot of the MPDs, and it was one of the threads. I was trying to go and find it, and it's been floating around for the last couple of days. And basically, it had the three, and this is what's going on. It has the Switches #1 for July 2017,
which I predicted.
Yeah, pretty much. And then it has the PlayStation #2, and I believe the PlayStation number was like 210 or something like that for the month. And then it had the 3DS at like 120 or 150 or 110, I think, the 3DS. And then people were asking, well, where's the Xbox? And now the speculation that they believe that Xbox sold under 100,000 because it's ranked with those numbers. Now somebody could just omitted Xbox in the reporting of the numbers, but it looks like it's taken from the MPD paper and that it's just listed in sequential order of highest to lowest, and everybody's assuming Xbox is under the 3DS. And if it's sold under 100,000, people are saying that that's the lowest that is ever sold.
I don't think I've ever seen it lower than that.
Yeah, it's kind of that's worrisome, man. That is worrisome.
What do you expect? You haven't had a game since what? What's that original Xbox game? What was that?
Which one? Halo Wars 2, or are we talking about Phantom Dust?
No,
Phantom Dust. Yeah, that's the last game we had, wasn't it? It was Phantom Dust.
Here's the thing, but no.
Just let that sink in for a second, kid. The last game that we got exclusive was Phantom Dust. Guess what is getting an exclusive this year? Windows 10.
The thing is that now there's been actually more. Haven't been the last retail exclusive was Halo Wars 2. I don't know if you can really.
Oh, now we go into February.
Yeah.
Real fam.
Yeah. Voodoo wasn't physical, right?
Because Voodoo Vents wasn't physical. There's been games that came out after Phantom Dust and stuff like that on a smaller scale, and there's another game that's due next week. That's Hello Neighbor. That's Xbox as well. Damn. Yeah. If this is true,
I'm just trying to get the leak. I'll show you the screenshot.
Yeah. If you can link me to it, because I'll pull it up on the stream as we talk about it, so I get a better example of what's going on.
Yeah, it looks like. I'm still looking. Scrolling through this, please. Oh, here it is. Is this it? 2017.
Tell me where you're going. Which avenue?
Now I saw the clicks. I saw it on it's somewhere on NeoGAF, but it's not in the MPD prediction thread. It's actually it's new thread. So let me see if I can find it. You keep going. I'll tell you this later.
Let's be real. Did you guys expect this? Like, I think this is a little lower than I would anticipate, but like, let's be for real. Like, You got to have games to have people pick up your console. I mean, it's how everything goes.
Yeah,
it's not a coincidence that this is the first year that they've been getting stomped this bad, and this is the first year that they ain't really dropped anything all year.
But it's even last summer. They always don't do anything in the summertime, and it's really like the
stupid ass strategy.
I know it's ridiculous, and they put all their exclusives when everybody else is dropping all their games.
I mean, it's like I said, it's sad when Xbox doesn't have a true exclusive, but Windows 10 does. Like, that makes no sense to me. How is it that the Windows 10 is the only thing that got an exclusive at E3?
And how can Age of Empires, right? And keyboard and mouse support. Like, come on, we've been talking about that for 2 years. Why is that not the first keyboard and mouse support game on Xbox with the PC crossplay? It's so important.
The thing is, Xbox this year has been like
confusing.
They're doing a good job at being the loser. Like, they are. They're doing a remarkable job at being a loser. It's one thing you losing, right? When it comes to Apple and Samsung with their phone race, you don't know who's losing because they both are like doing things every year to make their product better, whether it be new apps and content and whatnot.
They're doing stuff to keep themselves in the media. Microsoft is not.
That's the problem with Xbox. It's like they're horrible losers. When Xbox is losing, you know that they're losing.
Just they don't talk.
No release, no content. It's like, come on. I mean, I understand controllers are good. I think I just one of my kids stepped on my Xbox One S controller, popped out the RB controller, so I need a new Xbox One S controller. Dashboard that happens every year. They have to be doing something.
The hate they get it for that new UI too is even bad. Like, that new UI and just that people not liking it. Like, they're not just doing a good job at all.
What they need to do, they need to put everything to the side and just really start focusing on that matters. You're in a business of gaming. Your job is to sell games and consoles.
And I know people are going to say that it's because the X is coming out. Let's be real here. The only people buying the X are hardcore and maybe a minority of the casuals. Like, I just don't understand how people say that logic. It's like, look, like, I really think unless they just start doing something that they're going to get these kind of sales for the rest of the generation unless they pick something up.
That sucks. It's honestly heartbreaking because you don't want to see anybody like fail this hard, like, you know what I mean, this bad, you know what I mean. And before I continue, I want to give a shout out to the chat that's starting to lit up. I want to give a shout out to Hussein. I probably just did your name totally wrong. Hello from Australia was his chat. Shout out to Neverland X. Shout out to Daniel X and everybody who's joining us here live on Planet Xbox. So just want to thank you for coming in. But like,
Switch Gang in the chat, they're coming for you, man. They made it.
We're gonna talk. Shout out to Blandrew. But here's the thing: what Xbox is in the business of selling. We all know Microsoft is more than gaming, but their Xbox division is only gaming. And their focus is not in the right place. Sure, at E3 they showed 42 games, 22 of them being console first exclusives or something like that. But more than half of those games are not seeing physical releases or retail releases. I feel like when you're trying to sell consoles and you're trying to keep engagement up, and you're looking at the competition, you have Nintendo, who console just came out in March, and they've dropped at least a critically acclaimed. It seems like they average one critically acclaimed game a month. You have Sony once again taking advantage of the dry season with games like Hellblade and Lawbreakers, and even though that's not doing too well, but they have other games to make up for that point.
look at it from the perspective of, you know, people saying, you know, Hellblaze wouldn't have done so, you know, it wouldn't have done this good if it wasn't in a dry season. You know, they say that about, you know, some like Forza Horizon Zero Dawn, and it's just like, look, like Sony has solid games, but what they're doing is they're dropping it in drought seasons, making it look like, you know, like the next coming. So, you know, when everyone, let's say Microsoft drops Crackdown, you know, they drop November 6th, correct?
Yeah, November 7th.
What Call of Duty and all that, they're coming around that order. I think like a week later, Battlefront comes out. It's like it's going to get like a 2-day shine or not a shine at all because people are going to be talking about Call of Duty over it.
Yeah, and the thing is that if you look at all the YouTubers, the Twitter, all that stuff going on, what are they talking about? Just finished Hellblade. Well, I'm streaming Hellblade. Hey, this Hellblade review, and it's all over the place. And when people go, "Oh, that Hellblade's all over my social media. Should I go get it?" And there's only one place or two places to get it: PC and PlayStation, but not on Xbox.
Another Switch gang person's in the chat. Black Bond.
So, speaking of I want to speaking of like the whole Switch and, you know, the lack of games that are available for the Xbox One this year. An article came out from was it recently from Giant Bomb, and I think the link I got is another website, but
it's on what is it, the Gaming Bolt.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, Gaming Bolt. That's what I don't know why I was thinking of Giant Bomb, but the article really talks about how Nintendo Switch exclusive game titles are already surpassing the Xbox Ones for the last 2 years. So, meaning Xbox One's exclusive games between 2016 and 2017, the Nintendo Switch's exclusives, at least announced, because some of the exclusives they named for the Nintendo Switch aren't even like
hold
out
on,
yet. But are really there's more of Switch exclusive so far than what Xbox has between 2016 and 2017.
I want Blandrew, since he's in the chat and we're talking about this, put in that comment section every exclusive that you're referring to that's not on the Wii U.
Well, it does include Wii U ports.
Zelda is a Wii U game. Kart is a Wii U game. Well, I Am Setsuna is a PS4 game.
It gets, we'll put the link of the MPT thing in here.
Splatoon, that is a true Switch one. Splatoon is true Switch. Mario Kart is on on the Wii U. That's just a super edition.
Yeah, I think a lot of the things with the Switch they get a lot of exclusives. I think they'll plan for the Wii U, or they're just remakes of the Wii U. But the thing is that the fact that the one thing I took away from looking at that article was looking at the differences of variety. Like Forza's on the one twice. Halo, like it just looks like, well, Dead Rising. I don't know. I took away as like there is a lot more diversity of the Nintendo Switch ones. Like
there is. That is facts. It's like I said last week. It's like, how is it that you're getting like the I Am Setsuna sequels? I feel like every week I see some new Japanese-based game that's not coming to the Xbox, and it's getting ridiculous.
Even the what was it? There was a look at the not to jump with a thing, but just games like the what is it, Night Watch, or that remake of that full motion video game. What was it?
Pokemon Tournament came out on the Wii U. Try again.
No, I'm sorry, not Wii U. With the what was it? The game that just came out. It was Night Shift, the Night Switch. Which was it? It was like a full motion video game, and it came out on PlayStation. And it just got released yesterday. And it was the full motion video horror game, which had the corny acting and all that other stuff, and you control them. But it's from Sega, and they just put it on PlayStation. They didn't put it on Xbox. They didn't announce a date on it.
Oh, I agree. It's
these Japanese games that they're getting. Night Trap. There it is. Thanks a lot. Unsal. Night Trap. But yeah, like that's a Sega game. Boy, Sega's a third-party publisher, right? They put the games. Same thing with what was it? The Yakuza. Sega again. Microsoft's not doing those Japanese. Like they're not really moving those Japanese developers at all. Or even try getting them, and that's where a lot of exclusives come from.
That's the one reason that they're getting stomped this year, is because They're not getting these huge games that, you know, came to the. I mean, there's no reason Nier Automata is a PS4 exclusive. There's no reason, you know, Neo. I mean, there's games that could have went to Xbox that I don't know if they tried. They could have tried to get these, and you know, the developer and publisher could have told them to kick rocks, but it's just like, look, like that's one of the reasons you looking so bad. Persona, it's, you know, it's not a true exclusive because there's been games of Persona on different platforms, hasn't there?
Yeah.
It's like you need to start being more aggressive towards these Japanese market because trust me, that fan base, they vocal. You don't get it. I mean, let's say if you look at like the demographic of all the devs, a lot of them are from Japanese, the Japanese market, like Capcom, you know, Konami. Japanese. There's too many to count. They need, and it's not even about them having a market in Japan. They need to get the games for the market in the West Coast.
But that was like the big deal with Platinum Games and Microsoft's relationship with them, and the fact that they couldn't iron that out. Like it says, like what is their relationship with the Japanese developers? Like those, like they tried something with Recall. I think they got something with the Recall, but look how they did with with Lost Odyssey and stuff like that. They made it a valid attempt to go after Japanese.
And people give Mistwalker games they made for the Xbox 360, like some of the they value Lost Odyssey as one of the best JRPGs that came out last generation.
Yeah,
and it's like you don't
Blue
really
Dragon.
Blue Dragon, another amazing game. Wasn't the one before Nier Automata, wasn't that on the 360?
Yeah, Nier, the original.
Yeah,
Nier.
so I don't get where you're talking about that transition. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. But
the fact that Nier actually made Platinum Games like turn around is just amazing.
Let's be real here.
I don't want to hear about Platinum Games.
Yeah, let's be real here. Platinum Games is where Platinum Games was because for every one good game they make 7 equally shitty ones.
Well, and not make one at all.
I mean, the last one they made was, you know, people. I ain't played Nier Automata, but that game looks fire. And if I had a PlayStation at this exact moment, or if that game was out on Xbox, I would have bought it by now.
It's really cool. Like I played it, and it was it's really like one of those over the top sort of Bayonetta style games, but it has like some RPG elements to it, and it goes side scrolling. It is really cool, like very unique. And you know, from getting a PlayStation recently, I got to play a lot of these games that never seen the light of day on Xbox, and I'm like, I feel kind of like, why not? Why not? You know, Microsoft's talking this whole like, let's spread the love. Well, they have no love to spread. The love is over there. You got to get the love.
Hey, you can't be, you know. Kid kind of went at me too with his little Switch Gang diss videos, but you know, I'm Switch Gang, and you know, like I didn't take offense to it because I don't care. Like a lot of that was just funny to me. But you know, the thing when it comes to Nintendo and the 1,000 things they keep messing up, they make solid games you can only get on the Nintendo platform.
And that's it. I was just playing ARMS with my son. That game is awesome. That game is it's silly. As that guy went on stage and showed a Nintendo thing, and I'm like, what the hell is this crap? Nobody's going to buy this stuff. I bought ARMS. That game is really good. It is really unique, and you can play with a controller. You don't have to use the hand motions, but these are the unique games. Like, they have it, and you only could play it there. And that's something that Microsoft has lost that insight where you got to make people desire the one place to play. Exclusives matter, even if they're not selling the 4 and 5 millions.
You know, people say just because of the sales of exclusives, you know, that they're not as significant as they used to be. It's like Microsoft wasn't getting stomped like this till this year. So that shows you that exclusives are a key factor to people's purchase of that console. Because last year and the year before that, you know, the sales weren't exact. You know, obviously PlayStation was still winning, but they weren't this much difference in between.
Yeah, and now they got the games. They got the games now to justify it.
When Persona 5 comes out, what do you see? All these people, all the PlayStation dudes saying you this game's lit. Where'd I get it from? Only on PlayStation. You know, Zero Dawn, where'd I get? Only on PlayStation. Nier, where do I get? Only on PlayStation. So
well, then Microsoft goes console exclusive. Wait, I could get it here. Oh, it's on PC and it's gonna be there next month. Like it's all confusing with Microsoft. It's never like you only get it on this box.
Yeah, I don't think the PC thing is really bothering me some. It's the fact that it's not even that the games are on PC. It's that even the games that would come out that would be on PC, there's a lack of Play Anywhere titles in general that are available this year.
Yeah, that's what I've said in the past. Like, I see someone in the comment section like spamming that Play Anywhere hurts the brain. Man, you can go back like 2 videos, and I literally went on a rant of how that hurts. It does hurt it, but at the end of the day, the big time where Play Anywhere hurts Microsoft is when they drop something fire, like real good, that could be a huge console exclusive to really push units, like the equivalent of launching a Halo 3 on the Xbox One, but it's on PC. But
like Gears of War 4 shouldn't have been a Play Anywhere title. Forza Horizon 3 shouldn't have been a Play Anywhere title.
At least a delayed Play Anywhere. Like, you Play Anywhere in a month from now after you play only.
Like, I feel like games, they're B titles like Quantum Break, okay, Play Anywhere. Recore, okay, Play Anywhere. Ori and the Blind Forest, okay, Play Anywhere. But your mashups shouldn't be. One. Like, I don't understand why. Like, there's no like. I never knew racers were popular on PC. Don't seem to be. So I don't think it was like necessary, for like Forza to go there. Which, I mean, I guess I get it, but it's like, I don't think it's necessary. Now, just to give you guys a heads up, the next Halo is going to be on PC via Play Anywhere, right?
Yeah, I mean, I hope it's not, but it's looking like it is. They put Forge on the PC.
The Forge was the bit. It's like exactly
Halo is their bread and butter.
They're doing it exactly.
Put over there, it's game. We know everything.
Oh man, I think I might not have any more Xboxes if the Halo goes there.
They're doing it exactly how they did with Forza. You know how they crept Forza onto PC? What they did was they put Forza 6 Apex on there, right, for free.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So, and then that guaranteed Forza for more. Now they put the Halo 5 Forge. It wasn't the whole Halo 5 game, but just the multiplayer and the Forge maps, right? And that was available free. So that's just like, all right, we can put it on PC. I feel like that's what they're going to do. And like I said, I don't think it's really bright of them, but I mean, it's bright business wise. I mean, Halo as a first person shooter should be able to do well on PC. Just giving you guys a heads up, all the Play Anywhere games don't really do well on PC. These games aren't really being purchased on as
look what they did with Gears of War. They had to bring them over to the quick playlist, the casual playlist on Xbox for crossplay because they were not having enough players on the PC.
Hold on, I see Rand in the chat. He said he heard something about Halo 6. Hey, Rand, do you mind jumping in here and telling us that? Telling us a little bit about what you heard about Halo 6?
He's going to come here and be like, it's been delayed, and then just leave.
It's going on PC. That's the only thing I can say. Rand, get
it's
your
going on
in
the
here.
Switch. It's going to the Switch.
I'm going to throw a little link over to Rand.
Microsoft's working with Nintendo right now. They're gonna put it on the Switch.
And it's like, I see Kofi and they're still bitching about First off, the people in the comment section kept saying that over and over again. So,
see, I think people who haven't been really with Xbox from the beginning don't understand. I'm telling you, I had a transformation, man. It was crazy. They have done everything in the last 2 years to make me not focus on the Xbox console. They chased me over to PC when they tempted me with cross-buy. I was like, oh, PC gaming, let me try it out. Then this year, they're like, hey, guys, we got Crackdown, everything you knew. I'm like, you know what? What's going on PlayStation? I got a PlayStation. They have done everything to push me away than to bring me back with the console. With Peter Moore made that Xbox 360. With those guys made that thing. Instead, you know what? I don't like criticizing people on their jobs, but I don't know what Shannon Loftus does. But she's what used to be what Phil Spencer was. And I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what Microsoft Game Studios is doing.
When it comes down to it, it's just like them being so quiet this year, them not really announcing a whole lot this year. And, a lot of people keep saying, 2017 is completely dead. And a lot of that has to do just because of the games that got canceled. But, we are getting some good exclusives, regardless if you feel like PC is true exclusive or not, towards the end of the year, which that's a complete problem by itself. We shouldn't have to be in September to start getting exclusives when we ain't had one since February, but I digress. That has nothing to do with it. It's just like, look, It's what it is. We're gonna have to wait. You know, I get tired of hearing that. I get tired of saying that. But when it comes to being, you gotta wait. But there's nothing else that we can do.
I remember everybody before E3 was like, "It's do or die," and then they came there with their agenda of 42 games. Well, I can't name that many of those 42 games. And
I mean, I can name some of them. They're all, there's some gems in there.
No, there's a lot of gems in there.
Yeah. Oh, come on. There's a Playground Unknown. There's
the Darwin Project. There's Raiders of the Broken Planet. There's
what type of games is this?
Raiders of the Broken Planet is in the realms of Destiny.
It's not
a raid-based game. Yeah, it is.
No. I'm saying it's not that. Okay, they had some gems in that conference. But we 2 months out from E3, we haven't heard about any of them anymore. Like none of them. Project Darwin looks fun. I can't let you get with that, Chris. Sorry about that.
I think there's a clear disconnect between the people at Xbox and the Xbox fan base, the Xbox gamers.
It's Destiny, yeah. I know. Like I don't know what these games are. I don't know. These are not the games that I signed up for. It's nice to have, but these are not the games that I came to the Xbox E3 conference to see. Yeah. That's nice for a Major Nelson reel on a Friday, but not E3. E3, you make a big deal about E3, and you tell us things that we know already, and you come around and all you say is 42 games, 42. I don't care about the number. You got 42 shits. I don't care about 42 games. Like, it does not.
Question. I got a question.
Number.
What's up, Psycho? What's up, man? Welcome.
What's up, man? I'm good. How y'all doing?
Welcome back. Good. We're blessed to be embraced with your presence.
What's going on?
Psycho done showed up in here on his bike. That's where he is right now.
I did. Had to do it.
We're talking about the Xbox. We're talking about the leaked NPDs, and we're talking about how the Switch and its little time available exclusive are about to surpass what the Xbox One has released over the last 2-year period.
The last 2 years?
Yeah, for what Xbox did from 2016 to 2017 versus what the Switch has coming between now and probably, I think, next year. I think they already.
Dark Side. The Switch does not have more games than the Xbox. Maybe first party, but let's not go into third party, man. Let's not go there.
Yeah, the Switch has no problem.
I will say that Zelda is better than anything Microsoft has dropped this whole generation, but I'm not going to say that they got more games this year. That's completely foolish.
Yeah, I heard somebody say that too. It's like somebody told me the Switch has more. No, I was like, no, the Switch does not have more games. It has more exclusive. Yeah, I can say that, but as far as games, they don't have not one third party. They don't even have like third party games like that.
The thing is with the Switch is that it's not only just the games that are good, but it's also how you could play them. And the fact that you could play it on the go with these games has a much more of appeal now of a game on a Switch, that if the game just went on the Wii U, people are like, I don't want that trash, holding like that tablet.
You can play Xbox One games on the go as well, on a Surface Pro.
Yeah. But the thing is that you can play those on the go, and the appeal of that is definitely driving a lot of the Switch desire, and also to the making those games that they're fully functional console games. They're not like watered down versions of the games on the go. It's pretty cool, and they hit a nail on the head with that because that's what everybody's been asking for, and they're kind of doing it.
That's where their market is, though. That's where Nintendo's market is. They're not doing very well in the hardcore like console space. I mean, the handheld is where they've been killing it, and so why not come out with the handheld that you can use, take on the go, and also just
it's great.
Put it in a dock and
I definitely agree. And you do see some improvement with Nintendo letting someone like Ubisoft make a Mario game from the ground up, and the only request he had is do not make a platformer, and he made an XCOM stylish game. The dude who directed XCOM had an interview, and they asked him, did you even think this was an option? He's like, if I knew Nintendo would be up for something like that, we would have had conversation a long time ago.
But like, considering like Mario Kart Deluxe 8 was like, I've skipped Mario Karts for the last 3 versions because I had no desire to play them on the Wii, the Wii U, but on the Switch I'm like, holy crap, Mario Kart on the go, that's pretty cool. now I came back in, and I think that appeal is just the how to play it is really driving the interest of the console too. So it's not just that they have so many games or the games and stuff, but it's also that they have good games, exclusive, but also how you could play them is also impacting that too.
And someone in the comment section saying Microsoft needs more talented developers like studios like Sony. Like, I completely agree with you on that, but that takes decades to acquire that much talent in one
Sony's
person.
studios are great at storytelling, engaging characters. Like, they make movies. Those guys know how to make engaging stories. I think Microsoft is in the business of making games for service and trying to monetize games in a longevity thing. And I think where they lost their focus is the multiplayer focus. I feel like Microsoft's strength is not in single player, but they're in the multiplayer and Xbox Live. And I felt like they kind of went away from that a lot. Like when they were targeting Titanfall 1 and the multiplayer and talking about that, where is the next type of game like that? Where Microsoft's investing their servers, their cloud, and like where? In Crackdown? Crackdown multiplayer is not going to be no Gears of War 4 Halo multiplayer. I'll tell you that. It's going to be a tech demo.
That's what I said. I said, look, like, people go at, I agree. Microsoft needs single-player orientated games, but I mean, when they try to do it, Sunset Overdrive, ReCore is a different opinion. Feel like they didn't spend time on ReCore, but
they try to Quantum Break.
The community doesn't support it. But you know what they do support? Call of Duty. They support Titanfall. They support shooters. They support any kind of shooter they can get their hands on. I'm sorry, the Xbox still got that shooter stigma on it. It's facts. That's why I think games like PlayerUnknown is going to do more for this brand than Quantum Break would do in the entire generation.
Yeah, PlayerUnknown, that's a big one, and I know a lot of people looking forward to it. I think I'm looking forward to it. I think it'd be kind of cool. I just hope that it does not, like, it is in preview program, so I'm a little hesitant. And I think also to the excitement of everybody, like, that's an exclusive. That's not a Microsoft. It's an exclusive because there's a game preview program available on Xbox, and they're able to put it on there. And it's not that Microsoft bought it or it got any kind of like exclusive rights, except by probably working with them to get it on their platform on the preview program.
This is probably like an unpopular thing to say, especially on a gaming podcast, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say it.
No, I mean, we are on Kid Smooth's podcast, so almost
there's a lot of controversy.
No, but I'll go ahead and say this: like, games are important, and it's always important to have games, especially for us gamers. But I don't think it's as important as we. Not as important, but I don't think it's as big of a deal as we think it is. I think the marketing towards those things is almost, if not as important,
I agree.
Almost on the same level, because
you could have fire and people wouldn't know shit because they don't know about it.
Because you didn't put it exactly because you didn't put it out there the way you're supposed to. And I just think Microsoft's marketing as a whole. It's been terrible this generation, man.
I just feel like that does matter, but I feel like the quality of the games matters, if not more, just as much, because like, if you put something like The Last of Us out there and you gave it no marketing at all and you just dropped it on the store, it will start, obviously it's not going to sell what it would normally sell on launch, but word of mouth is going to sell that game. But but if you have dog shit and you put it on a store, no one's telling their friend to play anything. They nah. What do you think about that game? It's trash. Don't buy it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, there's no reviews.
Another thing is like they give up on these franchises. It's like when Sony puts something out and it sells like shit, like they'll try it again. Yeah, you know what I mean? But it's like
I tweeted out. I'm like, we see Knack 2. And I see No Man's Sky getting updates that everybody's like, you should go buy it. I bought it for $20. I'm like, let me see what this is about. Because they changed it all around, what they promised a year ago. I'm like, those games are getting updates and sequels, and we don't have all those other ones that we list. We have no DLC for ReCore. We get a remaster of it with maybe another robot.
And as much as people aren't going to like this, I do think ReCore is getting a sequel. I mean, you don't make a definitive edition to something that you completely abandoned.
Yeah, that ReCore sequel's coming early next year. Book it.
I hope so. Oh, early next year? What?
Yeah, I'm one to believe that it's coming early next year.
Okay.
But you know, and when
the game was made on Unity. Like, you know, they can make those games in their backyard.
Reborn 2. I got to give you that one, Chris. Reborn 2. That's a good one. But I mean, when it comes down to it, people want to sit there and say Sony's broke, Sony's this, Sony's that. Sony is not broke. Sony's turned around their company very successfully in the past couple of years. What it is Sony spending more money in the industry than Microsoft is, because Microsoft isn't all into the Xbox division anymore. Let's be real here. Microsoft does not write out checks like they used to. They're like, you gonna spend this little pot of gold, but don't come back to me asking for money. And Sony's like, yeah, that's fine.
And know what's interesting? I'll tell you one thing with Sony that that I do appreciate is that how Kaz Hirai turned around that company and he focused on the console, on the gaming division, when he was the person from the gaming group and went up to president of the company.
Well, the PlayStation is keeping the company afloat, right? So
of course,
exactly. all of your resources are going to go.
But he knew about the gaming. He knew the embarrassment that he had in 2000s. Like, he was on stage.
You could tell that PlayStation is the only, like, is the main things that's driving Sony, because they started naming their other things after PlayStation for that
PlayStation View.
Yeah.
They took the Microsoft playbook. Microsoft, at the beginning of this generation, Xbox meant entertainment. It meant movies. It meant Xbox music, Xbox movies, Xbox this. They had a movie studio. That's what they were going to do, and then they dropped it, and they dropped Kinect, and they dropped all that stuff when our good friend, what's his name, Don, left, and Sony did the same. Sony did the same thing that Microsoft did.
Dude, I said this on another podcast, all right? And I've been saying this since 2013 or 14, but now people are starting to understand it. But both of these companies are trying to get to the same place. They're on a race to the same finish line. They're just taking different routes. Like, Xbox tried to just go straight there with, I want to be the center of your entertainment system. And this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to do it. Here's some games and everything else, but this is what we're trying to do. Sony went the other route. They said, we're going to, quote unquote, focus on the game. Again, it's a marketing strategy. We're going to focus on the games, but we're going to ease other shit in here. We're going to slide it in. We're not going to just ram it up. We're going to slide it in. We're going to lube you up a little bit. And we're trying to do the same thing. We're both trying to be the center hub of your entertainment system. That's why you're getting the PlayStation View and all this other shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Microsoft dropped DVR function. They were going to put DVR functionality in the Xbox, and they just dropped it. It was supposed to be like in a beta a couple of years ago, and then they dropped the DVR functionality. But they kept the HDMI pass-through in the Xbox One X. And it's like, you can't half-ass it, half-step it. You got to innovate and lead. And I think Microsoft got very fearful, or the regime changed, but they were trying to lead when the Xbox One was released in 2013. They were trying to change the game, and everybody's like, hell no! And they rioted.
And that's what I appreciate about it. Sorry, go ahead.
And then they went backwards. They kind of just retreated back in a hole.
And that's what I appreciated about Microsoft, is they were trying to do something different. Can you guys imagine what would have happened with the original Xbox when they had the Ethernet port? If the internet was what it was today, like I remember looking at the magazines and seeing, Microsoft is being anti-consumer, and they don't, they're not thinking about the little guy or the guy that has dial-up, all this shit in the paper. But can you guys imagine what that would have been like if it was today? You know what I'm saying? Where the internet is pretty much...
You have to be different. And if you're not going to have exclusive games that are only playable on your console, then you got to do something different. And now they are just plain Jane. Now PlayStation has games coming out. PlayStation has the VR. Microsoft has dropped that too from the Xbox One X. And don't tell me about augmented reality bullshit, because I'm telling you, I follow all that Microsoft stuff, and that is virtual office desktops. That is not games. Those $300 headsets that are coming out from like HP and all those, that is so you sit in front of a wall, you put this on your head, and now the virtual room that you're in, you have workspace, and it's basically the future of the cubicle. It has nothing to do with games, and it has a higher resolution screen. But the thing is that it's not meant for motion. They're cheaply made. I watched a bunch of reviews on it. So Microsoft is not in the VR game. What PlayStation VR is, HTC and Oculus, all that development knowledge and updates and everything is all being on those platforms. And Steam and PlayStation. And Microsoft's going to sit there with their hands folded and going, what about the Windows 10 store? They're going to be like, fuck the Windows 10 store. We've been developing on Steam, we've been developing on PlayStation, and Microsoft's going to come in with their VR headset 2 years from now. And Phil Spencer will be, here it is, and everybody's going to be like, please develop for us. Look what happened to Windows 10. They let Apple and Google fight off a mobile or they step back and then they try to beg people to develop for Windows 10 or Windows Phone, and Windows Phone was 3% and died. You can't be third party. You got to lead.
Look at all this Fable talk in the comments section.
Look at the list. Go look at the list that we come right back to where we came. Like that list. There is no RPG on there. There's Legend of Zelda. There's Xenoblade Chronicles. There's Fire Emblem Warriors. Switch has those games. Microsoft does not have that. They have shooters, races, and Super Lucky's Tales.
Yeah,
get that shit off a list. I'm sorry, that's irrelevant.
Stop it, man.
It's a fucking 4K 60.
Jazz.
I'm raging, man.
Calm down.
Super Lucky's Tales.
All right, but I do. Someone did ask a good question that I kind of want you guys to speculate on in the comment section. What do you guys think the Xbox One X will do for Microsoft? I guess the Xbox division will twist it a little bit.
What would the Xbox One X do for Microsoft? I'm gonna let one of you guys go first.
I'll go first.
Xbox One X.
I think the X is going to help the brand, and the only reason I think the X is going to help the brand, it's going to take that, the weaker console thing out of perspective. You can't really market the original PlayStation, the original Xbox, saying what's strong or what's not. It takes that entire card away from Sony. Because they have the stronger system, regardless if they use it to its fullest potential or not. But I think one of the biggest things that's going to help, it's going to give Phil Spencer a card to go to the higher ups and be like, you let me build this. I need money to promote it. I need money to put games on it. It's going to let them get more money.
Yeah, for me, I think it's just fan service basically. I mean, the object of a company is to provide customers with a product that they want while keeping the company's values or what they want to put out. And so I think that's just fan service. People have been asking for, people have been beat up about resolution and graphics and shit like that for 3 or 4 years. And this is what they've been asking Microsoft to do. And so this is what they're doing. They're delivering what people have been asking for.
Someone say the audio is loud. Audio kid. You messed up again.
No, because I just pushed it in while we were talking, but it's done. It's delayed though.
You be messing. You be dropping the ball with those videos, man.
No, I just added it. It was never in our feed. I just added it as we were going. That's why.
Okay. Continue.
That video. So what I think it'll do I think it would give them definitely interest from developers, and I think that it will make them a bit more desirable to develop for, and I think people will be interested in utilizing the power of that thing and then having it scale it down for the S. I think that's going to be very interesting and see how they balance that. But I do think that it is going to give the developer interest, and we might see, more things given them. It does give them some sort of leverage in this, but I don't think it's going to change that much because I don't think they need the games to support that. And third party, they're doing a lot on third party, and I don't trust the Activisions, the EAs, and the Ubisofts to really utilize that Xbox system, and Microsoft's going to have to lead with it.
The part that kills me is I feel like every time Microsoft, they recover from the 2013, they start to get, the image of the industry back. They start to get, they're a good brand to buy from. And then they do something to mess up that entire thing and start back from day one. It's like they spend more time battling uphill, and they spend like a year and a half battling uphill, get on the same, the same kind of, what they need to be, where they need to be. They're on a flat surface, and then they just fall down again, and they spend another year and a half getting back up the hill again.
You see this video that Kid Smooth is showing with that release of the Xbox One video? That's the same video. They got a real Xbox One X hooked up to a TV, and it's playing that stupid ass video. It's not showing 4K HDR games. It is not showing 4K exclusive content. It's not showing anything. It's showing this microchip bullshit on an Xbox One X console in the Microsoft Store in New York City. That is not going to sell the console. That you need to be showing 4K trailers of HDR.
Well,
not this crap.
The final SDKs just went out, and Unreal Engine
just show the videos,
Xbox,
show video games.
But
on
maybe
it.
the games
not
aren't
this.
maybe the games would be fully ready to show probably by like September. If you think about
See,
it, the
here's
Final
the thing
SDK
though, you
just came out.
can't. It's hard. You have a hard time already marketing 4K. So like you
show 4K trailers.
Yeah, you shouldn't
on
come
TV.
out. You shouldn't come out half cocked with like half the story to your advertising.
This stuff. Look at this. What is this? This is the stuff that they got showing on there. They should be having 4K HDR Assassin's Creed,
Hey,
4K HDR that playing on there. Instead, they got this video.
I will say one thing: being there live, seeing that trailer live was lit. So,
I'm sure it was.
I mean, that's as far as that goes. But
the Microsoft Store has the real console sitting there with this video playing, and this video does not tell you what it is. And I would love for somebody to say, how many times have I seen the Microsoft Scorpio chip versus actual game?
So
I am sick of the friggin' chip.
Before we continue, I just want to say hello to Panda. Are you there?
She's not.
Oh, and Taco Bell.
Get everything figured out right now.
Say what?
I'm trying to get everything figured out. I'm on my computer. I'm trying to get it on my phone, but it's not working.
Oh, okay. Well, you sound perfectly fine right now. Just to give you a heads up.
They always show the chip. That's right. And even in their profile pictures, Major Nelson sucking on the chip. And what's his name is chewing on the chip. Change your profile picture to like Lucky's Tales. I don't know.
Jess has a real grudge with Xbox. I'm gonna just give you the floor for a moment. What it is?
No.
I need to know what it is that Microsoft and Xbox's division can do to win you back as an Xbox fan and an Xbox gamer. Like, what can they do, and how soon do they need to do it?
They gotta buy him. They gotta send him an X for free.
No, I told you what they needed to do. They needed to come out on stage and make Super Lucky's Tales conquer. They needed to come out with Perfect Dark. They needed to come out with Battletoads. They needed to come out with a new Halo. They had to come out with games. That's it.
I agree. I do agree.
They had to come out with a Halo expansion for Halo. I want Gears of War expansion.
Halo Wars 2 is getting an expansion.
Halo Wars 2. It's a good game, but that's all I wanted. I don't want that. I don't need Phil Spencer to knock on my door. I will go buy the X. I don't care. I just don't like that they priced it at $500, which basically they say that's justified, and then they show the Microsoft the chip they show.
I see people,
and then have the games.
I see people saying games. I agree. But let's be real here. They can launch out game after game after game. They can have 50 exclusives this month. They need quality games. I would take one quality game an entire holiday season, like on a Witcher level, than 15 mediocre ones.
See, I think
I wouldn't even say that. Like, if you look at the first year or two with Xbox and PS4, I mean, the PS4 was selling more, but the Xbox was coming out with more new AAA exclusives.
Well, that's because they were fighting an uphill battle at the time.
They're still fighting an uphill battle, though.
No, I don't think they necessarily fight an uphill battle now. I think, a lot of the times when it came to the beginning of the generation, it was Microsoft's dropping the ball in 2013 that hurt them. Now it's Microsoft hurting them. It's like continuous bad decisions they keep making one after another. You could blame a lot of the first 3 years of their sales on that 2013 reveal. Now you can't blame nothing on that. They're the ones causing this shit.
Now they don't have fucking games.
I'm going to tell you one thing. They had with the X and the S, they had Sony pinned. They could have came back, but they priced this thing at $500. And as soon as they did that, now they got to justify the price difference. And by just saying it's a beast, but then saying developers could do whatever they want with the beast, then that's not justifiable. And now you're back to 500 and 400, which lost you the generation in 2013 when you had 500 with Kinect. Kinect was the future. Now you can't even find.
Let's be completely honest though. The generation's already lost, so it doesn't matter. I mean, it's like if we gonna lose, we're gonna lose with a $500 console.
Now I'm standing up. Now I'm not sitting anymore. Let me tell you something about this Kinect. You go back. I went back and watched videos of Phil Spencer and Kinect. Go look at 2013. Go look at 2014, his first one when he came out. They were talking about Kinect like this was going to be, we're still developing for it. We're still in there. Now listen to those Kinect stories of how they told about Kinect in 2014, and then go listen to them now telling about the power of the X. It is like a match. They are talking potential. They are not showing. And Kinect died. And I'm telling you, the Kinect 500, PlayStation 400, and that's the reason why PlayStation sold. Price. Now you got the same situation.
And you know, part of the reason the 360 did so well is because, you know, they hit gym after gym. Mass Effect exclusive, Halo 3 exclusive, and they just not getting that this gen.
Yes,
It's like,
and they undercut the PlayStation 3 by having the Xbox without the hard drive, which made it seem cheaper to everybody. They were able to put a $299 console on shelves without a hard drive.
Let's talk about something. I got a couple scenarios, right, that I want each of you guys to attack, if you can, right?
oh god.
Yeah, you know, diversify things.
I'm sitting down again. It's okay.
So you have Xbox One X. You know how there's not really a showcase title from Xbox first
BioShock 2.
For the Xbox One X. Would you have, if you were in Xbox shoes, right? Knowing this, because at this point you got to think late last year they knew that Scalebound was canceled and that Fable Legends, you know, was also done. Would you have delayed Gears of War 4 for the launch of the Xbox One X?
Yes.
No.
I wouldn't have.
You wouldn't have?
They should have.
Okay, like
No.
I get what you're saying. It's just like, you know, they had to launch something that's of value.
Yeah, but last year they had a
to
lot
the
of
Xbox
games.
One.
Last year,
I get that, but last year imagine the hit. What would have happened if they would have delayed Gears out of that year?
You know,
Halo 5
the
got
other-
delayed. I mean,
but the other
Well,
thing
here's the thing, like, okay, an X, like people keep saying, like, I agree that Xbox needs to market more games. That one of my biggest issues is even the fact that they don't have a lot of exclusives. Like, I feel like if you're getting stomped in exclusives, the best case scenario that you would have is, yo, I need to pick up marketing deals, but they're not doing neither. They're getting hit from every corner, and they're not. It's like they're drowning, and then they keep just kicking them. They're letting them come all the way back up in the water, and then they just kick them down again.
all right.
It's like
but-
this year. Look at the holiday this year. They have none of the big. They have none of the big marketing deals. They have, you know, they have Crackdown coming out demonstrating the Xbox One X. I don't think having Gears in Crackdown's place would have mattered.
Yeah, it would have. Here's the thing. Consider the thing.
Tim Dog said he saw it running on the X. It looked absolutely incredible. Like that would have been a good.
No, I seen it on the X as well. It does. He's right. It does look remarkable.
I figured it out.
You got it. All right. So Panda's here. Good.
Yes,
Cool.
I got it.
So if you think about it, in 2016, these are the games that launched. I'm not even going to list Gears of War. Right. In 2016, you had Quantum Break. You had Recore, you had Forza Horizon 3, and you had Dead Rising 4. That's about Xbox averages per year for our exclusive 3 to 4, right? That's 4. That's without Gears of War 4. You add Gears of War 4, that was 5. So they had a decent amount of games. I felt like they had enough, and they had some marketing deals last year.
But I mean,
Battlefield
we admit?
That's why I say it's not about the game.
Let's agree. Let's agree on something, okay? Let's say they would have took that out. Do you think it would have impacted their console sales last year?
Well,
let's take that. You know, they had that Gears S that was in August, so that's gone. That S is already gone.
The Gears S wasn't in August.
Yeah,
Gears came out in October. That was in October. The end of October.
No, they gave you the red Gears thing in August. They gave you the code.
I think the X. I still think they would have still won the 4 MPDs with on the strength of the Xbox.
I don't think they would have. I do not think they would have, because if you take that away, what do you put in its place? That, you know, that console built you up for Gears. It built you up for a franchise that you know on the console.
The base Xbox One. There weren't that many red Gears of War
consoles. The Xbox One S sold because it was a small console. It was more efficient at the 4K upscaling, and it was an HD, a UHD player, and it got a lot of the tech files got in. It had nothing to do with Gears of War did a good thing, but you move it.
I personally think that, you know, if they would have did it. Yeah, it doesn't really matter to me. But I feel like Gears getting delayed would have hurt last year more than it would have helped this year.
No, I doubt it. Remember, anything they do this year would help this year. Remember, there's absolutely
anything they
nothing
do this year, they already hurt by prompting and hyping 4K resolution, and nothing is showing what they said.
That's why I would have delayed Gears of War 4.
Yeah,
that's exactly why I would have either delayed Gears of War 4 or I would have begged 343 for a Halo 3 anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Halo 3 anniversary could have did something. I will agree.
That would have been good. That would have been good too. I think they're trying to make a point that they can do something besides Halo and Gears, but it's not really working.
You know why? I you know what? This is one thing that I hate about those who make fun of Xbox, who says they got nothing but Halo, Gears, and Forza. But the thing is, they've tried a couple times without Halo, Gears, and Forza. Forza is always there. That's annual. But you look at launch, there's no Halo or Gears. You look at 2014, you had the Master Chief and whatnot, and then 2015 you had the Gears remaster and whatnot. But the thing is, at the end of the day, when they're not releasing games that aren't Halo, Gears, and Forza, the games that aren't named Halo, Gears, and Forza are not selling like Halo, Gears, and Forza.
Yeah, but you know what, kid, they are lazy. I think lazy. They don't have enough studios. But look at that. They listen to. What about 1 versus 100? Little games. They could show that they're trying.
Dude,
like
they have a ton of little games.
There was technical issues. The reason they got rid of 1 versus 100.
Oh, but
I don't necessarily think it has anything.
But I'm saying little games. It looks like they're not trying when they just do Gears of War and they don't fill it in with anything else. If you're really going to try to do something without those games, you got to deliver. And I think the one thing that everybody missed, and I've seen this all over the social media, you got Sea of Thieves got delayed, and the other game, the State of Decay 2. Both of those games got delayed.
That was devastating.
State of
Decay leaving 2017 was devastating.
Because before E3, everybody's like, okay, let's see. Sea of Thieves
one of the only games they were looking forward to.
Yeah, Sea of Thieves in September. We're gonna have State of Decay in October for Halloween, and then we'll have Crackdown in November. And both of those games got pushed.
And that seems like a good lineup. Every month you get a good exclusive.
Exactly. And nobody went on them for why those games are being delayed. And Sea of Thieves is still like zip tie your mouth. You can't even talk about the game.
That is true. Before we continue, I want to get Panda to answer on this question. Did you hear the initial question, Panda?
No, I didn't.
All right. So the question was, looking at 2017 and with the launch of the Xbox One X, should if you were working at Microsoft, if you were like Phil Spencer, would you have considered delaying Gears of War 4 to this year?
Delaying it for what?
To this year, for like so it could launch with the Xbox One X.
He was saying, would you delay Gears of War 4 to this year to launch with the X?
I mean, it's a pretty big title. I would
delay something else.
What?
Yeah. Like, I don't. Okay, hold on. Let's go last year. Name the games that came out in the holiday, because I don't think Gears cannot be in that lineup. I'm sorry.
Forza, Dead Rising,
Can you guys hear
and
me?
Gears.
I'm sorry.
Dead Rising could have went anyway. It didn't need to be in that whole year. So I mean, okay. Forza, Dead Rising, Gears, and Recore. Is that all the games that came out last year? Like the
Quantum
big
Break.
ones?
And Quantum Break came out in the spring.
I forgot.
Did you guys hear me?
Yeah. Okay, we're talking about
I can hear
holiday.
you, Gretchen. I can hear you. Yeah, you said yeah, but I want to know why you said yeah.
I think Quantum Break would have been a better game to delay for a whole year.
Go ahead, Panda.
I don't like Quantum.
She doesn't.
Sorry, my phone is still messing up.
No. We heard
It's
you
okay.
say
Go ahead. I can hear you.
You don't like Quantum Break, and I was like, I remember that from a couple weeks ago. So.
Yeah, I don't like Quantum Break. So I think maybe that's why I don't know. I think Quantum Break would have been good not releasing at all, but that's just me.
Oh man.
I don't know why people hate on that game.
Go back in time.
What did you like about that game?
Everything. I did not like everything about that.
The 20-minute movie that made my controller turn off like as I was watching it.
Wow. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
This what irritates me about this game
There's
is
a
like
bunch
people
of stuff
say they
wrong with
want
it.
different stuff. They say they want Microsoft to try something different, do different things. When they do it, people don't like it.
Yeah.
They don't support it.
And you know that's I know
But
this.
it's that messaging, man. That messaging was you're supposed to influence the story.
I know that when I say this, I know this chat going to attack me like they always do, but let's be real here. The install base don't play those games.
But you have to build that though. You have to build it. You got to build it. You can't just throw something out there. You can't be
I
one
get
way.
that, but you can't just like what's what I'm looking for. You can't just give up because these games that you know wasn't going to sell don't sell. Like I'm sorry. I think Quantum Break would have been a better game to demonstrate on the X because it was. I think the game. I think they would have had more time to touch up on it. But
but Quantum Break was initially supposed to launch in like 2014. So whereas Gears of War,
Quantum Break being delayed a whole year is gonna hurt.
Yeah, but Gears
you want to know what? I think somebody said it last week. The thing about the Quantum Breaks and the reason why they're not getting the support and stuff like that, even Sunset, is because Microsoft has been kind of outsourcing that to a person to keep the IP or not to keep the IP, but to develop the game, get them on a contract, and then when they're done, they're done.
That's a huge problem right now.
But Sony has their own studios. They own those studios. They're like, well, you got to develop DLC for this game. Well, it didn't sell well. We don't care. We want DLC. We want this game to go out there. Where Microsoft's like, Remedy's like, thank you for the check. Microsoft's like, thank you for the 2 years. See you guys later. And they leave.
They see what they need to do is, I know that.
Well, Scotty, it took 10 years, exactly. That would have been canceled 5 times.
There's certain games that if you guys were to name one exclusive that failed, which one do you, not necessarily failed, but an exclusive that a big AAA title that Xbox has launched since launch that hasn't got a sequel yet that you think would be potential to do good and maybe be their next flagship title, what would you think it would be?
Either, I would say Rise or Sunset.
I say Recore.
I say Recore too. Recore or Rise. I
think say Rise. Rise is great.
Rise would be. I think Recore and Rise. Sunset. I'm playing it now because kid threw me under the bus. He wants me to. He put up a poll because we're doing this segment where he's like, "You guys, what games you want me and Addict to review next?" And he put Sunset, a 2-3 year old game in this poll for all these new releases for some reason. So guess what? Everyone gravitated towards because they know Addict don't like Sunset Overdrive. So guess who has to play Sunset Overdrive? Addict. That's my rant.
Yeah.
There were 2 IPs that Microsoft should have locked down. That was Rise and Titanfall.
Guess who voted for you to play Sunset Overdrive?
Yeah, that's pretty much what.
Guess who voted for you to play?
I'm
Sunset
sure you did.
Overdrive?
I'm sure you did.
Bandit.
So it's just like, look, okay, I don't think Quantum Break. If they want to try to give Quantum Break another try, I don't think Remedy would ever make another anything related to that genre ever again. I think Recore and I think Rise has the most potential. I just do.
Perfect Dark. Yes.
Psycho.
Well, see, that's different. That came out before this generation.
Psycho. Would you?
I'm saying. Yeah.
Psycho. Would you have delayed Gears of War 4 or would something else? You there? Oh, we lost him. All right, never mind.
It happens, man. He was so disgusted with your question. He had a bowl.
Another thing too that actually they shut down, which I can't believe, and it's pretty telling, is Project Spark. That was a game development, like a creative thing, and they shut it down.
Yeah,
and they did a bad DLC model.
Their lack of game problems, but they
people could have been making games. No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
They never. What the Robolux? No, that's not Project Spark.
No, they have now the community games. So,
but Project Spark was fun. I mean,
Project Spark was fun.
Out of everyone here, am I the only one that really got into Project Spark?
No, I loved it. I
put like 100 hours in Project Spark.
It was so cool. But the thing about it is that it was service. We're paying Xbox Live for services. They shut it down and they refunded everybody. Like you can't make any games. Like it's similar to like what Disney did with Disney Infinity. But like Disney is not in the gaming market. Microsoft you're paying for Xbox Live service. You're paying for service games. That was a service game, and you shut it down. I watch those guys every week, like talking about it, and they got rid of it all.
Yeah, they spend a lot of time. But I do have one question to ask you guys. Okay, I know that they said
Fitness is gone as well. That's service.
Yeah, I know that they said that they weren't going to make Xbox One X exclusives. What if they were to make Windows 10 exclusives that were compatible with the Xbox One X?
No, they can't. They're not going to.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear Sorry about that.
Cool. And they shut Fable down. Yeah.
Yeah, they shut Fable down, but Fable deserved to get shut down.
No, it didn't.
Oh, come on. They could have released that. That game was
from the start, man. Like, look, Fable Legends was fun. I liked it, but me being a hardcore Fable guy, I'm always mad salty that game is existence because of that game, one of my all-time favorite franchises might not ever come back. So I will say what the hell I want about that game.
And and who will make Fable? Like that's the other thing. Who are they going to do? They're going to get a third. Who are they going to make it?
I think you guys might not like this, but I think Fable needs to evolve. I think not an MMO, Chris. Shut up about that nonsense. I think Fable needs to be grimmier, darker. I think it needs to keep that whole.
Thank you.
I think it needs to. It's okay to have that.
Oh my God, MechAssault, please.
No, not in VR.
Not in
VR.
Wow.
So it needs that dark, grim sensation.
That would have got me excited.
It needs when you walk in a room, you don't feel like you're supposed to laugh. That's the problem with Fable to a lot of people, is it feels like it's forced humor.
I like Fable Legends as it was. As long as they added more animations, the game looked good. It was beautiful.
Fable Breath of the Wild. I could get down on that.
Can you imagine Fable Legends running on the X with those visuals? Like, oh my God. Like, yeah.
We'll never know. And that's what I've never seen, even in the 360. Like, I've never seen games that we got to play that never made it to market.
Yeah.
Like a Fable game, or like I've never seen that before. They keep a game in beta, and even you put it in preview program. How the hell do you just shut down the whole studio? There's bigger problems going on over there, and they're trying to give us this 1X thing to kind of to shout. And the thing is that I see it in their marketing. The Xbox One X is basically the remaster. We made fun of Sony for remastering all that crap that they had in the PlayStation 3. They remastered everything. Everybody's like, look at the stupid remaster. Xbox One X is a remaster of the Xbox One. It's a remaster. Play all your old games again, everybody. $500, please.
Not yet. It's a new way of doing things. That's just what
it's weird.
Because they both did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, made a remaster. They have to.
I'll tell you one thing about this year. One thing about this year, I will learn not to wait for these stupid annual gaming events. I am no longer waiting for E3. I am no longer waiting for Gamescom.
You're waiting for all this shit.
If I go to E3, that's when I'm like, I can't wait to go to E3. But I'm not no longer waiting for an announcement or anything like that. It's just
how much you guys want to bet this man gonna make an E3 prediction video next year?
That's different. That has nothing to do with me like saying, when I'm in a discussion with other gamers, wait to E3 for what they're gonna announce. You know what I mean? I was like, nah. I was like, I just don't know, and I really don't care.
That's part of the problem, because now you're saying, they've been disappointing me so much with these events. Why should I watch anymore?
You gotta watch. It's like
no, I'm going to watch. But the thing is, the expectations or any anticipation won't be there anymore.
Well, everybody's doing it with Gamescom now. And I said, Graham Boyd is not dropping pre-orders and multiplayer Crackdown. I sent you the picture of Graham Boyd. He's a nice guy, but he's not dropping Phil Spencer news.
Oh, I agree. And, one of the biggest things that I just want them to get this games thing taken care of, because besides this games issue, and it's a huge issue because games is the #1 priority people play consoles and people play PC for, is because besides that, Xbox is kicking. They got the features. They got the they're not real big on anti-consuming practices. They got every other aspect, but the aspect that means the most. So if they get that aspect, they'll get a lot of that industry acceptance back.
Microsoft needs to fix their fucking marketing. I see PlayStation everywhere.
That's Aaron Greenberg, dude.
I was in Malaysia.
I don't think that's Aaron Greenberg. I think that comes from that entire bracket, because Aaron Greenberg got a boss in that same sector. Yeah,
but he was touting all Xbox victories with the sales NPDs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm just curious if these NPD numbers, and we're just gonna go refer back to them for a moment. If they turn out to be correct, how does if you're Xbox PR, how do you react? Do you even come up with a formal announcement if the Xbox One did sell below 100,000 in the month of July?
They don't comment if they lose.
Speak on that.
Yeah, they don't speak on it. They don't talk about it.
I don't.
They used to do PR spins. They don't talk about it anymore.
But they do give you their not the engagements of and stuff like that. They don't.
As we wait for the exciting Xbox One X, the Xbox One S is still on shelves at a low price. Who the hell knows? It's a bunch of bullshit.
Hey, I don't know how I would even. I would probably do exactly what Microsoft's doing. Just not comment.
I'm gonna tell you one other thing that came up from this thing too was that everybody's saying that the PlayStation 4 is year over year. It's advancing when Microsoft is minus, and that's the thing that's scary is that PlayStation is still growing, and that's the craziest thing that nobody could fathom. But that's the scary thing is that not scary. I'm just saying like the thing is that the PlayStation is growing. At still growing and it's not stopping like and that's the thing that people are not waiting. It's not a stale point. And Sony said that their sales are leveling off like in their investors call, like their PlayStation 4 sales were like leveling out, but they're growing year over year and Microsoft has not. Like even last year Microsoft was really they were still growing year over year, and this year it has been dismal for them. For hardware-wise, and you even saw it in their earnings report where they said the hardware was very bad, but the services were better. There's more engagement for Xbox Live users.
Yeah,
but now we don't know what Xbox Live is. It's logging into your computer, your phone.
I hate to go into this, but Cycle, people keep asking what you mean by it's not about games. Could you go?
Like what I was saying earlier, it's not. Look, if it was about games, if it was strictly about the games, right? Like I said, in 2013, 14, and a little bit of 15, Microsoft would be in the lead. If you look at the games that came out around that time versus what Sony had around that time, you had your Knack and you had your Killzone, and what, Infamous?
Order. They're the Order.
Right. And then on Xbox you have Forza, you have Dead Rising, you had Killer Instinct, you had what else was it? It was Titanfall was exclusive at the time. You had Sunset Overdrive. You had Forza Horizon 2. I mean, if it's about the games, then shouldn't have Microsoft been in the league at that point in time if it's strictly about having games or big AAA games?
Well, there were more money, and that was the thing. I agree. Like the games drive it, but it's also price.
Games are a tool. Games are like I was saying earlier. Like games are a marketing tool for that. Like it's always good to have games. For me, are important. Games for people like us that are in this podcast are super important, right? And that's the way I feel about it. I go wherever the games are. Like right now, I've been playing my PlayStation because that's where my games are at. I care about that. But when you think about the general public, the games they care about is NBA 2K, Call of Duty, Battlefield.
Casual shit.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they're going to go to wherever the best place that they can play those games.
And if you look at it, the first couple of years of Microsoft, they had they had FIFA unlocked, they had Madden unlocked. You got to kind of admit to them, like they had the biggest casual games, and still Sony was stomping them in the sales. I mean, when you market something, it connects that IP to that brand, and they still weren't winning with something big like them games.
Here's where I want to. Like the thing is, even with the results and with the hardware sales being down, and my thing is, how do they combat that? Do even Microsoft even attempt to do it? I mean, you think when businesses see that area where they're hurting or area of opportunity, they act on it. You know, everybody does the SWOT analysis. Strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. I believe. Do they act on it, or is it just like, well, you guys are doing good enough, we're gonna stay content? I don't get it. I don't understand how this works.
Well, they gave no reason to own the S. Like they didn't even they treated the S at E3 as the well, if you can't get the best, we got the S for you guys, and that's not how you sell the S. You make it like the delinquent console. And that's how they said it. They're like, well, the X might not be for everybody, and then on top of that, then they kind of neuter the X, where they're like, well, the X is going to be powerful, but we have the S out there that's that's still a 4K player, and but they really just really didn't focus on the S. They should have new models. They should have it associated with games. Stop with the controllers, please, and make the S desirable.
I mean,
They didn't
I don't
make S
The S and
desirable.
the X probably should have came out the same
I
time.
don't agree. No, I don't think that's the best case scenario.
Well,
I don't agree with
I
that.
mean, we do that with phones all the time.
Well, I get that, but that's a different market. I don't agree with the controller scenario. Like, I think it might make the image look bad, but if the controller didn't come out, it's not like a game was magically going to come out that day. You know what would happen if a controller didn't come out that day? Nothing.
Yeah, but no, I just mean like it make like S like a. Come on, I'm gonna give you a scenario. The week of E3, Sony dropped the gold PS4 1 TB slim, the 1 TB slim for $250, and they had the Days of PlayStation at Best Buy all over the place with a gold PS4 that every time I went to Best Buy, people were walking out with it. Microsoft sat there and had the Minecraft thing. Remember the hype before E3 when they thought Minecraft bundle was $199 and that was a mistake? That's the right answer. That's what should have happened. Not oops, we're $50 more. Everybody reported it as $199, and then it wasn't. And that's what they needed to do. They got to make the S appealing.
Oh, look at that. Black Bond's back from searching Google for NPD cells.
There you go.
I mean, it's like I said, like this shit don't bother me. Like it doesn't. You know, I'd love for Microsoft to get on the high horse. Like we'll have to see what happens next year. I know a lot of people keep saying we can't just keep saying next year. But when it comes down to it, and they do, what am I going to do? I'm going to make 1,000 videos saying it. Am I going to attack other people for saying the other thing that I don't like? Like there ain't nothing you can do about it. You just got to wait. You half like 88% of life is waiting for something. Why?
Yeah, and the fact that he's not going to tell us what's going on 2-3 years from now, like or games and stuff, it's going to make the wait even harder because they really got to kind of show the portfolio. Like, I'm not excited for them. Like, I'm not excited. They're not getting me excited with their branding and what they're doing. It just seems like everything they're doing is just a spreading eagle, like going out to other places and not focusing on the console. And you could say a $500 X is them not leaving the console business. They're leaving the console business. I'm sorry to say. They are going. They would, and know what interesting is about it. And I've been thinking a lot about this. I ever heard more Minecraft coming out of the people's mouths at E3 than I've heard in any other E3s. We always knew that Microsoft had Minecraft. They showed on stage, but never in interviews where it's like Phil Spencer was like, "Hey, we got Minecraft," and he said it a lot at E3 interviews.
I do agree with Black Bond. Titanfall was the only game that made a splash that wasn't Forza and Halo. You know why, Black Bond?
It was.
Titanfall was the only multiplayer exclusive that we've got so far.
Yep, and it was using the cloud for AI and stuff like that. And you know what? Where is it? It's again more talk.
And that's a part of what I'm saying. It's like Microsoft needs to cater to their market and stop trying to like this E3 this past year looks like a Sony E3 to me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like they need to cater to their market and stop trying. And I get it. I understand why they're doing it, but that doesn't speak to the reason why I have an Xbox.
They want Minecraft. They want the Minecraft model. What's on the Switch and all. That's what they want for every one of their games. And if it causes them to say we only got to make 3 games, and they're Minecraft like all across unit, like we all log into live. And we're all playing on every other console, a Switch, a PC, an Xbox. That's what they want. It's no more of console exclusives. There's no more like you come here to play this game. It's sort of like, you know, you're on the toilet. There's a screen there. You can play Minecraft. You just log into Xbox Live.
It's like I said, earlier. One of Microsoft's biggest problems this year is they're just letting too many games slip through their fingers and go exclusive. Too many third-party games getting exclusivity. You see that Nier Automata, you know, Persona. We see that with too many games. It's one of the main reasons.
Nidhogg 2 came out today. Nidhogg 2. Nidhogg was a really big, popular PC game. Nidhogg 2 came out exclusive on PlayStation. It's not on Xbox. It came out today.
And, you know, when it comes down to it, it's like, look, like, if they would have had these games, it would have been a different scenario. You know, from first-party scenarios, what's the games that Sony has dropped this year?
First-party studios?
Yeah, Horizon and baseball, I believe.
And then the rest have been games that they've gotten exclusive deals with. Yeah. Well, I mean, they should be selling that mini Black Bond. They have double the install base?
I mean, that's crazy, man.
And I think the VR thing is another miss on them. The fact that they backed off that and they didn't support high fidelity VR.
I'm happy they did that.
But the thing
man,
is, VR hasn't really
no,
taken
not
off
for
the
the-
way it's supposed to do. But Jez is speaking from a VR customer, so I mean, I can understand.
Yes, and I'm not. But wait a second. I'm not going out there and saying, "Oh my God, take your console, throw it out the window, put the head strap on, lock yourself in a room." No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it opens up the gateway for additional development, just like what Kinect should have been. VR is bigger than Kinect and actually has a definitely different experience. And the fact that Microsoft is not allowing developers to use Xbox for that is bad. It's not giving people options.
Do you guys think that instead of going towards, I keep seeing Blackbone say about the whole Microsoft and, we're not buying games. Do you guys think that they would have stayed away from that single player oriented game like Recore, Sunset Overdrive, Quantum Break, and had these studios focus on a multiplayer experience? You think those games would have did better?
It depends. I mean, it probably, think about being at Titanfall being the last multiplayer, base. That was I truly believe that was the last system seller that Xbox has had was Titanfall. Well, Halo 5 sold a lot of systems.
Well, I mean that's without a given.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I appreciate it. Like, I'm a single player type person. I'm old school. Like, I like games that are like heavy on single player. So for me, I appreciate it. But that doesn't translate to every Xbox gamer. Or
I think that translates to a good percentage of the Xbox install base, man. I'm sorry that you see it. You see, I mean, you look at third parties. What sells better? Multiplayers. What doesn't sell? Single players. Like, people keep telling me I try to keep saying stuff like that, but it's true.
Here's what
Xbox gamers play multiplayer games.
People are generally prisoner of the moment, and everybody would tell you nowadays, because Sony has these games and Nintendo has these games, that single player is king and single player is better to have than multiplayer and that. And I think I disagree with that notion, because you got to think about it in a grand scheme of things. Multiplayer is always really the go-to. Just look at all the publishers. Almost every major publisher publishes more multiplayer games than single player games by like 2 to 3 to 1. Look at Ubisoft. They publish more multiplayer games than single player games. EA obviously publishes more multiplayer games than single player games. Activision. What else? So I think only one major publisher that's not have a heavy hints of multiplayer games available, and that's pretty much Bethesda. The only multiplayer things that they've been throwing out there has been like Doom and Quake. I mean, because Wolfenstein single player and
Wolfenstein.
Yeah, I don't think Wolfenstein has multiplayer in it.
No, it doesn't. No.
Yeah, take it with a grain of salt. I'm just saying what I've seen. The games that I see people hype on Xbox are multiplayer games. The games that I see people on PlayStation hype are single player games.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like those kind of Japanese type games, like some of the games on there, they would not really find an audience on the Xbox there. Like the kind of the games that goes for like the Ni no Kunai and even like Yakuza and stuff like that. Like they're very those games might not find a huge audience, just like the Tekken.
They won't. Those games
Tekken on Xbox.
No, Dead or Alive was popular on Xbox.
Yeah, but Dead or Alive was very kind of American. Even though it was wonky, it wasn't like. It was definitely geared towards a Western audience.
That's all I was saying. It's just I do feel like that Microsoft is trying to accommodate to a fan base that just isn't there.
No,
I mean, look at Sunset Overdrive, critically acclaimed. Everyone liked it. I've never heard anyone negative besides me say that game is trash, and it didn't do that well.
It's there, but they just have to build it.
Well, and I think that's what this last E3 was. Is they're trying to bring that Japanese market to the Xbox brand. We had Dragon Ball Z on the stage for the first time ever.
I don't think it's the. Here's the thing: Xbox has provided single player experiences throughout this whole generation, and they're not really popular on the Xbox. So I hate when people say that. Oh, they look at Xbox. Oh, Xbox don't have like a story. It's like Xbox can drop like 10 single player games, like cinematic games, but at the end of the day, if they don't sell well or they don't receive well, they if it doesn't count, and that's not like really fair. So I'm not, every time somebody says, oh, Xbox don't have any new IPs or anything like that, I'm like, well, actually, they've released a new IP every year, I think, with the exception of this year. Like,
oh yeah, and you know, I agree with Bond in the chat too. It's just when you make single player games, they got to be fired because you don't have that multiplayer to fall back on if the single player's trash, like Halo 5.
Make the games, or even like Gears of War. Like, tell me that story was significant. That Gears of War story was not really that good. It was.
The story is good. It's only about like.
Are y'all saying that Sunset Overdrive was a bad game? Was that?
No, Sunset was good. Sunset Overdrive.
Why did that game sell the worst? Pretty much the worst out of the exclusives.
Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah, and don't say marketing because I remember all kinds of marketing for that game.
No, they marketed
it. It was a great game, right? So why did that game sell so poorly?
I know people wanted co-op, and that kind of deterred a lot.
Yeah, I think that hurt. I think a 4-player co-op through the whole story.
Just like that hurt Dead Rising 4 too. Dead Rising 4, when Dead Rising 3 had co-op, Dead Rising 4 didn't. That deterred a lot of people. And actually, they put the similar multiplayer mode in it, where it was like this kind of wave-based multiplayer, like jump in and kill a bunch of things, and that was not what people wanted. They wanted co-op.
All right, but you know, I really do feel like we just going around because I mean we pretty much stating the same thing. I haven't heard Panda at all. Like, do you have any statements you want to say?
I mean, there's a lot of things. Like, I was just gonna bring it up later, but throughout the conversation, there's a lot of things that like I kind of was gonna say something, but I was like, I'll just wait until the end, get their arguments out. The only thing that I feel like, I mean, it's kind of okay. So Xbox does PS4 have anything like the Creators Collection?
I don't believe so.
They
don't even have a preview program.
Yeah, they don't have game preview.
No.
The Creators Collection just added.
Well,
that does add to library. But go ahead.
Well, the Creators Collection.
I bet you Xbox is going to try to act like that adds to the library. Watch them do it. We got 15,000 games in the Creator program, meaning we got 25,000 games.
Stop putting them in Game Pass.
The only thing about the Creators Collection is that it's not multiplayer. The Creators Collection, you can't play multiplayer except for locally.
Mm-hmm.
And no achievements.
No achievements.
And no achievements.
That's because people like Rand would have 2 million gamer score.
He'll make his own game.
But I mean, it's a huge thing for people who are fans of indie games and don't really care much about gamer score. Because I mean, I love indie games and I really don't care much about gamer score, but that's just me. So I mean, that's great for indie gamers that like single player games, or if they want to play multiplayer, they can play locally. But personally, I just don't do that anymore. The only thing I'll do that with is like Mario Kart, but that's about it. And then going back to the Japanese games, Dead or Alive was big not only because it was geared more towards Western audiences, but there were big competitions with that game. And it was really popular for a while to be in these tier competitions and stuff like that, along with Soul Calibur and Tekken and stuff like that.
You know, the fact that you bring up that Creators Club it's really interesting because it makes me think about Microsoft's positioning, and they are not working for the here and now. What they're kind of doing is with that Creators Club, and even with buying like Havoc and even Minecraft, they're trying to get developing kids or developers, entry people. And they're trying to have them that maybe 5 years or like 3 or 4 years from now, that person makes a hit. They're not paying these multi-billion-dollar studios.
Trying to get the next Minecraft and Angry Birds.
There is one thing with the Creators Collection. It's unfiltered content, so that particular thing is not geared towards kids because it's more unfiltered.
No,
is in
I'm sorry. I
in a
meant the
separate
developers.
section.
I don't mean that it's made for kids. I mean that they want to get people
Oh,
early
okay.
when they're
I get
starting development. They want to get the student.
Yeah, yeah.
And they
I
want
got
those
ya.
guys to develop using Microsoft tools and eventually develop Microsoft's next game. And that's where they're focusing now with this. They're not looking to say, hey, I'm dropping a big blockbuster game right now, and I'm going to pay $1 million to the studio with this $1 billion budget. That's over. They're going to keep the Halo and Gears of Forza, but they want their future is that. They want people to develop on those PCs for the future.
But it's because,
Like a school.
indie games are starting to become so big also. So,
Yeah.
with them releasing this creators collection, that opens a lot of doors for them. They can see what developers are out there, learn what developers to follow, because then they can get them an ID at Xbox and then add those achievements and those multiplayers for a price on the game. And even though it might be a cheaper price, that's a little bit of profit for them. Also, with the creators collection, it is a $20. I can't remember if it's like a $20 a month fee or what it is, or if it's just $20 in general. But they do have to pay to be able to upload directly to the Xbox store.
I remember I heard a rumor saying it costs like a ridiculous amount for a patch on these consoles, like $5,000 a pop just for a patch.
Really?
Like, yeah, it costs money to develop for these consoles.
Yeah, and Microsoft doesn't. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Sorry, some people were asking what the creators collection is.
That's all PlayStation gamers, by the way.
The creators collection.
It's all our exclusives.
Is a thing that Xbox added, so that way developers can go on and make games, and they can go through a really simple process to upload their games directly to the Xbox store, either for free or for a small price, nothing too expensive, so that way people can go and play their games and get sort of a following, get those games out there.
Yeah, it's a preview ID. Yeah, it's like the ID program is sort of like your indies that you've seen, but then this one's sort of like you could just go onto your computer, make a game, and upload it to their store. But it doesn't have achievements. It's not Xbox Live enabled. And the only thing though is that I'm not sure about the prices. Seem kind of for what they are. I don't think they're doing trials with those games, which I think was
kind of like Steam Greenlight.
Yeah, but are there trials for all those games? Or are they really like you can't trial for all of them? Because I remember with the program that they had in the 360, there was a trial for every one of those games, like a 3-minute or something. Because some of those games you got to watch. You'll pay $5 for one of them, and it'll just be horrible. And so I don't know if they're doing trials.
Yeah. I downloaded one for free because it was part of the little tutorial you had to do.
Yeah,
They do have the previews, just like how they do with any other game on the Xbox store.
Oh, like on game preview.
They have like the little preview. No, they have like the little videos and stuff, so you can watch it before you play it. And I mean, I know that.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like the game preview.
Yeah, I know that you can't. Oh no, not like that. But
well, they better because people can get ripped off on that thing, and they can
like that.
Yeah, that's not good.
So that, but I mean, they make some games look really, really great in the little snippets and stuff that they put on there, and sometimes they're not. Like, I'm not even. I've already talked way too much about this game, so I'm not even gonna.
No,
say anything.
It's neat. Like I think it's great, and I think that they're doing a great job. But again, for the here and now, that's not. That's really for the future, and that's what they kind of want, because it is kind of that store. First of all, needs to be fixed in order for people to discover that thing.
Oh gosh, yeah.
They got to fix that store. You can't even. So like that's another thing. Going on PlayStation, man, it makes you want to buy stuff because you're in the store and it's like sale. You could sort by price. You could sort by full game. You could sort by free. You could sort for PlayStation Pro enhanced games. You could sort for PSVR games. You could sort for PlayStation Now games. Like, and then you could sort the prices. You could say what price you want if it's an expansion. Xbox is just like blah. It's like all over the place.
All the games.
And those poor community games are going to get killed, and especially when they're priced, $4 and $5. Like they're not 99 cents. A lot of those games in that community thing. So
All right, I want to talk about one more thing before we get out of here, because we're running out of time. Agents of Mayhem came out today. Any of you guys picked that up?
Nope.
No, I picked it up. I didn't play it yet.
It's similarly, there we go, close to Crackdown. Now, if you play any of the Crackdowns, Agents of Mayhem plays almost exactly like it, and it's actually cell shaded as well. As far as the visuals,
yeah, it's like a hero shooter too. Like it's like a heroes. Like they got like 12 different agents and they got different abilities, and you take 3 out at a time. You can hot switch between them.
Yeah,
but it's not getting great reviews. This thing
it is not, and I'm kind of like, even though it kind of sucks, because even though Crackdown is getting like a lot of heat for it, there's now already a game that's almost exactly like it that sucks as far as review wise, and it's out months before it. So anybody who wanted that fix might just get it with this game, because I think I'm enjoying. From what I played so far, I'm enjoying a little bit of it. A lot of these review guys are freaking really harsh when it comes to certain games, because when people what I notice about people reviewing games, they critique how funny the game's supposed to be and like how goofy it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be this goofy. It has to be that goofy. It's like, come on, like a lot of these game reviewers have like something really shoved deep into their ass. But
they're paid to be critics, so they're gonna try to nitpick anything. It can be a perfect game.
I do think that it's funny. I find when like a game comes out that's critically acclaimed or very serious, like Hellblade, then they come to something like the next game sort of gets really critical, because it's like we have this art mastery, this masterpiece, and it's like now you got this comical shooter thing. Like I think it's funny, like how you have these highs and lows. Like you knew when you saw Hellblade, I knew that game, you know, it's gameplay wise, you know, it's fun, it's amazing looking and storytelling, but you know, it's nothing that's amazing gameplay wise.
Yeah, the pacing on that game is driving me nuts.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the style of the game. I'm still looking forward to play Hellblade. I just have not decided if I wanted to play on PlayStation or PC, because it looks like the choice modes that they give you as far as performance mode, you're limited to like I think 8 to like 900p if you wanted to play at 60 frames per second. But if you want to play in like the high visual mode, where I think it's like its average is around like 1440p.
All right, I don't want to go on a Jez rant here, but I'm going to tell you something. I've put to it. I played Hellblade before Digital Foundry got their slobby hands on it, and I was playing with the little switching thing to going from preview to 60 hertz and stuff like that. And yes, it gets blurry, but you want to know what they said before? It's 4K and stuff like that. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, it's 4K, and then they come around, they're like, it's not 4K. You want to know what? I'm getting really sick and tired of Digital Foundry's bull. Like, if I was a developer, I would go in there and take their European asses and beat the shit out of them. And I would take them and shove their asses through the fucking machines and see how many hertz your ass comes out. Because those guys, they take these developers' games and they just say, it's this resolution, my frame drops. You know what, guys?
And you're going to do it all in 4K.
And the fact that people run around, it's 900p, it's 1600p, it doesn't matter. Like you see the difference, you can, but like the zooming in, and that's the thing that I'm worried about with the X, is that people are going to be looking under a microscope like Black Bond's friggin' picture with the the friggin' magnifying glass, going, yeah, it's 4K. And people are going to be using that, and I think Digital Foundry has destroyed this gen.
Look,
they destroyed this gen.
I was just going to say the same thing. Like, I don't knock anybody's hustle, but it's like I think that the industry would have been better off without them being around, dude. I mean,
I don't even think it's really Digital Foundry's fault. I think it's resolution. I think when that
which
first
is Digital Foundry's fault.
Well, I get that. I get that.
What's on resolution?
I get that. But who? Okay, digital. If no one reported on Digital Foundry, if no one built up on Digital Foundry, it's not that. They're just reporting facts. But the point is it's the resolution that didn't mean shit last gen, didn't mean shit at the beginning of this gen. But now
it did.
It's the number one thing that people push for. No, when the Xbox One and the PS4 first came out, you didn't see anything about resolution like that.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
I did.
Every week they had screenshots of the Eurogamer article.
That's where they got the info.
Yeah, that's where it came from.
It's not, listen, it's not the facts. It's the fact that you don't play resolution.
Right.
Okay. When I hit the X button, that does not make pixels resolution change on my screen. Come on. Why don't you go look at all Blu-rays and go see what kind of camera they were filmed in? Does that mean I don't like Spider-Man because it was filmed in some friggin' Sony camera and it was like some not 4K, it was 2K? Fuck that movie. It's not 4K camera. You can't do that stuff.
I gotta admit, I fell for this shit too. I'm not somebody that falls for marketing slogans. Like I work in marketing, so I kind of like be able to, get away from that shit. But I was sucked in. I was like, oh my god, like the games are going to be so much
Shout out for
better.
Digital Foundry for like making everybody believe they could tell the difference between grass and one game.
Exactly. Yes.
I'm thinking when I get my PS4, I'm going to see this amazing shit. I'm going to see this huge difference between the Xbox and the PS4. I'm going to see this shit. It's going to be so amazing. I put in Killzone. It looked good, but I'm just like, does it look any better than Rise? You know what I'm saying? As far as the graphics are concerned. You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of bullshit, man.
Unless you put them in both inputs, you have the same setting, and you're switching back and forth, and you look for little things, you're not going to know. And that's why people wait for Digital Foundry in order to fight their arguments.
They don't know. Because they don't know.
No one can tell you day one what games.
I'm going to tell you. Kids through. If you go get Hellblade, okay? Get Hellblade. Have the character look at your screen, look at the fur around her neck, and then change the hertz. You'll see it's a little blurrier when you put it on 60 hertz. And I guess that's going from 4K checkerboarding, whatever the hell it is, to 900p. But you put a gun to my head, I wouldn't even know that. I would be like, oh yeah, it's a little blurry. Come on, let's go. It's running faster now. It doesn't matter. And the thing is that when it's checkerboarding, it's 4K. And then Microsoft fell right into Digital Foundry's paws with this crap. And now they're going to get fucking just whipped up because this is what happened. They fell into the fanboy arguments of resolution, and now we're going to see what happens. And now they're making everybody pay $100 more for that winning fight.
Killzone should have Killzone should have killed this whole resolution talk because they advertised it as being a 1080p game. And it didn't take until 6 months later.
Yeah, and
I remember a couple times. I remember a couple times. Didn't Sony advertise more than one game and they changed it at the last minute? Didn't they do that with Watch Dogs?
Yeah, Watch Dogs. That's what it was.
What was the game? Lawbreakers. Lawbreakers came out and said that they're running in 4K, 60 frames a second.
1404p, and I don't know
about
that.
I didn't know that until Digital Foundry told me. I would have said, yeah, it looks sharper to me. I wouldn't know if it's a 4K or not, but I'm saying the developers now knowing this are kind of coming out and going, yeah, it's 4K. That's 4K assets. It's 4K. It hits there once in a while, and then the founder's like.
See, when I played Lawbreakers, it wasn't a question of whether it was 4K or not, because it didn't look like it was a graphically awesome looking game.
Man.
It looked no better than any. And so it wasn't like, is this 4K? And I was like, it doesn't look that great. It doesn't look like a bad game. It's just graphically, it's not. I'm not saying wow. Nothing impressed me about the visuals.
It's just the technical analysis on games, and I think that we don't have this kind of technical analysis on other art forms. Like, you don't care what kind of paint the Mona Lisa was painted in. Yeah, you don't care about that.
I guarantee you a year from now, Microsoft and Sony is going to sell us these things to put in our brain so our eyes can read like the frame rates and resolutions of all these games so we can further partake in these resolution wars.
But if you want to do like artwork and they want to do the saying that this is an art form and this is gameplay and all this other stuff, like to throw it in a machine and say the only thing that's important is frame rate dips. Like if it's something like Stud is, like what the saying Agents of Mayhem is, I guess I'll find out. But if it just breaks the game and ruins the gameplay, but the fact that it's running at a checkerboard or 900p and 1080p native and all this other stuff. Go get the TV that you can see the differences, because that's the other thing too. If you have a 1080p, they could be talking checkerboarding, they could be talking 900p. You gotta have a 1080p to see, and you gotta do it side by side. Like I've been playing Xbox for the longest time. I got PlayStation. The games look a little sharper. Okay, great. I'm not gonna go like go crazy about it. But Digital Foundry, man, they take those games and it is nice. But the fact that they know now they're fueling the fire, and Microsoft giving them the specs kind of just hurt them because they're going to take every single true 4K claim and they are going to go, it hits it once in a while. This is not really true 4K, and it's going to hurt their marketing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Showing shit that
Not
you just
quite.
wouldn't notice. Like,
Not
that's,
quite 4K.
Yeah.
They used this checkerboard rendering technique. It's
Yeah,
not
where
quite
was all this
familiar.
last gen? I wouldn't know last gen. Tell me what Halo 2 ran at, or Halo 3, or tell me
You know
what
what?
like Call of Duty 4 ran at. It was 60 frames a second, but I didn't know what resolution it is. With
When it comes
540.
to resolution, you guys, like I really got no input,
Yeah.
like at all. Like it's been beaten into the ground, then dug up, then beat again, then burnt, and then
Hey, if you
And
ask some of
that's
these
good.
guys, though, resolution was never a discussion. If you ask some of these guys, they're saying it was always about the games.
Always about to
And
get
that's what
my
it was.
ass.
It wasn't about anything else with the games. Resolution was anything. It didn't mean anything, right?
No, PlayStation didn't get killed for resolution. PlayStation got killed because they got bad ports of Xbox 360 games. Games were just broken. They were broken.
didn't they have like a really bad Skyrim port where it would stop
Yes.
after a certain amount of
They had
saves?
broken games
Yeah.
because for the same reason why Xbox
They didn't
doesn't
get any of the expansions for Skyrim to the last one, I think.
No, yeah, they had bad ports because Xbox, they were developing for Xbox first and porting it over, and then they had the cell processor,
Yeah.
which
Which was
nobody
fucking
wanted to utilize.
completely different from anything anybody else was using.
Yes.
So.
And the other thing I want to bring
I mean,
up too
he's got a
regarding
point. He's got a point. You know, the bad ports did have inferior resolution, so I mean, technically,
It
it
did.
was the resolution still.
but frame rates, that was the thing. The frame rates, it wasn't the resolution. It did look worse, and people just be like, yeah, it looks worse
You
on
want to know what
PlayStation.
hurt PlayStation 3 during the 360 era? Was when they demoed the new Fight Night, and you know how amazing it looked. It was like, oh
yeah,
my
that's
god!
amazing.
But the
Yeah.
thing is, it came out in February of 2006. Obviously, the PS3 wasn't out then, and it looked like that on the Xbox 360. So it's like, oh, okay, well, my 360 can do that. And that
Yeah.
was one of like the show pieces for PlayStation 3 during that tech demo in 2005. I remember that like it was yesterday. But yeah,
What it was?
For me,
Yeah,
I could feel the difference. You know what I'm saying? As far as the multi-platform concerned, what drew me to the PS3 or Sony's platform in general was those big AAA exclusives, the Uncharted, you know what I'm saying, the God of War.
Yeah.
Those games drove me to PlayStation system. You know what I'm saying? Other stuff in the PS3 era or Xbox 360 and PS3 era.
That's why Microsoft had to get the people back, need to do exactly what Sony did at the end of the PlayStation 3, was get those games, because that did help them. Like, now everybody wants Last of Us 2. Now they started on the end of the PlayStation 3. So, like, Microsoft needs to kind of put the games and make people want to go back to their platform. And that's why it's hurtful right now, because they don't.
yeah. We need the games. We need to show. We need Xbox to show that they're not just sitting there and just settling for the loser role, because that's what it looks like. That's what it feels like. Hopefully, because 2017, I given up on. I'm gonna take my Xbox One X and take all the third-party games that I plan to buy and get through the rest of the year like that. 2018, I expect a turnaround, but we got to get out of here, guys. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching. We peaked at just over 100, so thanks for that. Please
Hit the like button, though.
hit that
Thank
like
you.
button to prove that you were here watching. So when hit that like button, get us try to match us to where
It's
we
like
was
hit the
at.
like button if you think Kitsmu's a fanboy.
Oh, yeah.
I so hard to hit the like button. though.
Or
I
hit
hit
the
the
like
like
button
there.
if you think I single-handedly destroyed Twitch Gang. But
Oh, yeah.
yeah, hit that like button. Thank you guys for tuning in for episode
Oh, look, the
10.
dislike button went up when you said that.
Oh, man. Somebody-
So you know who's watching.
Yeah.
That was
Oh,
that was the whole 6 people in the chat that have a Switch.
That's it.
But yeah.
Well, they're in Best Buy right now if you want to go buy one.
We lost
hilarious.
a like for a dislike. You assholes. Thank you guys.
Look at it, it's like,
No, Lunar, you gotta hit the like button, man. You gotta make it even. You gotta hit the like button.
But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Tune in for if you missed the show, you can catch it on iTunes and SoundCloud in the description below. We'll be back next Tuesday. Hopefully, we got a developer interview coming for you guys soon. Look out for me and Addict's review. We're gonna be doing Gigantic and Sunset Overdrive soon. Soon as Addict review finish it. So I'm out of here. Xbox is the best box. I am the best bot. Good night, guys, or good morning if you're on the other side of the globe. Peace.
Peace.
Later.
I like you didn't let us plug ours in.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit.
He's ready to get out.
That's it. I'm putting my thing on the dislike button right now. Dislike.
Yeah, I'm disliking it too. Kid's a horrible host. Dislike.
Nah, I put my stuff in there. It's all right. I don't.